What's up everybody, it's Jasmine, and today we're going to be talking about the detention of ASAP Rocky in Stockholm, Sweden. So I just got back from Hamburg and am back in Stockholm, and I was reading about the situation with ASAP Rocky and his detention in a Swedish jail for, I think it's been 2 weeks, and his detention has been extended for another week. So I think that this case is really interesting because Kim Kardashian and Kanye and other celebrities are requesting Donald Trump to interfere with the investigation and to get ASAP Rocky back to America. It's also interesting because a lot of rappers like Tyler the Creator are saying that they will never do a show in Stockholm or Sweden ever again. I think one of the really kind of funny things is that people are talking about that the conditions in the Swedish jail are unsanitary and that it's not a good place to be and that it's unsafe and that he's in solitary confinement and things like that. So basically it's like from the point of view of a Swedish person, I'm not Swedish, but like I can see the point of view of Sweden, but that these Americans who are having their own crisis with these disgusting detention centers in their own country are pointing fingers at Sweden and saying, oh, your jails are disgusting and it's, you know, a human rights violation and things like that. I personally, if I was the leader of the jail, I would be pissing myself laughing that people would be saying this about Sweden coming from America right now when, you know, the conditions of the immigration detention centers are being described as being like concentration camps. So the one thing that I think is pretty unfair is that that he can be held without being charged. Like, so basically he's been held because they are thinking about charging him with the crime, and I think that that's pretty unfair, although they do give reasons why. So there's 4 different reasons why you could be detained in that way. So the main reason why he's being held in this way is because he's a flight risk, because any foreigner who commits a crime or is suspected of committing a crime in Sweden would be held in this way because they could easily leave the country and never come back if they were to be prosecuted. And I think one of the things that is really upsetting for somebody like people in Sweden is that they're being called racist for, you know, because ASAP Rocky is black, that they are holding him because he's a black man, and that's just very it's really weird. Like, it doesn't make sense to people in Sweden, because the reason why he's been detained is because they suspect that he's committed a crime, and whether you think that the detention should be like that or not is beside the point. It's how the law is, and if they just let him go, it would be because he's a celebrity, and then you're basically saying that anybody who is a celebrity can just do whatever they want. So that would be, you know, that would be a disaster in Sweden if they let him go now, because people are petitioning the courts and saying that he should be given better treatment because he's a celebrity. That would be so wrong. You can't just give someone different treatment because they're famous. And I don't know where this racism stuff comes from. Like, how did they decide that that Sweden is racist because they are suspecting a man of assault when there's video of that shows, you know, an assault taking place. And the thing is that the person, you know, the alleged victim, they are also being investigated for assault. So it's not just ASAP Rocky, like the whole situation is being investigated, and that's like that, and that's how they do it in Sweden, is that because he's a foreigner, because, you know, he could just easily leave the country, they have to detain him in order to prevent that from happening, so that if he is asked to face, you know, the court, he will be there to face the court. And do I think that that's right? I think that it's, you know, questionable. Like, I don't think that you should be held for weeks on end because they might charge you with a crime. Like, that seems a bit, ew, you know, your freedom's taken away because you might be prosecuted. But you're talking about a whole system that has functioned like that, and it's all, you know, it's all lawful in Sweden. So if you want to change that, then change that. But you can't just let one guy go because he's famous. You know what I mean? So if it was me, I would like to see that people who are suspected of committing a crime in Sweden, maybe they could be given like one of those bands on their legs so that they're monitored, and then, you know, they can go stay in a hotel or wherever, because it doesn't seem right to me that somebody who might be prosecuted is in a jail cell. That the only thing that I can hope is that the Swedish system works so that the prosecutors have to give the court enough evidence to show that there is a reason why he should be detained, because they have to go back to court every 6 days to extend the time. And yeah, but it's interesting. I think that it's not a good time for it to happen. If it was like before the whole detention camp thing in America, then you could maybe see the Americans having an influence over the Swedish system. But now I just think that Sweden is kind of probably laughing their heads off a wee bit that America could point to them and say, you're being racist and your prisons are disgusting and inhumane. They could maybe have gotten away with saying that, but in this day and age, in this current situation, it looks like somebody is really delusional. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes, and if ASAP Rocky gets free. I doubt that the American politics will be able to influence the investigation in Swedish, because you're also talking about the separation of the police and the government. So how is the American political system going to change a Swedish police investigation? Like, if they could do that, that would also be very questionable, because there should be a separation of the police investigation and the government situation. You know, you can't have those things mixed up, because then you get into the situation where the police are being used by the government to do things that they shouldn't be doing, basically. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you found this video interesting. I will be interested to see what happens with the investigation. I think it would be very weird if ASAP Rocky was let go without being charged. Like, if they decide that there's not enough evidence to prosecute him and he's been detained for however long, that would be really weird. Like, if I was somebody that got detained for 4 weeks and then they're like, oh no, we're not going to charge you, I'd be like, you took away 4 weeks of my life. What's going on? So we'll see. Good luck, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good time. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys all next time. Hey,